turns out I'm a red herring too.
Happy Death Day.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Mr. Hat, and today we're going over Happy Death Day. Directed by Christopher Landon and came out in October 2017. We're already getting a sequel this week actually. Tomorrow, when I release this. This movie just tells a simple story about a woman named Tree, and she dies on her birthday, and then she wakes up that morning again, repeats the same day, and realizes that she's gonna die over and over and over again by the same killer unless she stops him. Or her, or it, or three little people sitting on each other's shoulders. This movie's a pretty good PG-13 horror movie, so therefore I'm gonna save my positives later. Let's go over the things I don't like. Alright, first off, this mask. I wasn't crazy about the mask thing in this movie. I got this for like 20 bucks, Trick or Treat Studios. And another thing I want to complain about is in this movie, the killer is running around constantly in this mask. And in the movie, it is confirmed that it's not a full face mask in the movie or in real life like this. All right, so in this movie, it's bullshit. When you see that killer running around, easy peasy, mask is just perfectly in place. They see everything around them. They would not be very well aware of what's around them. They would be tripping over their own fucking feet. It's not a good mask in the movie or in life, all right? That person, the killer in this movie, would just not be able to see that well, especially when he or she is driving that car, hits the cop. Bullshit. She wouldn't be able to see shit. It's nighttime. And the mask would just keep falling or sliding up and down her face when she's running around. It's bullshit. How tight is her hoodie that it just keeps it in place? But the main thing I want to complain about is the PG-13 rating. This is a good PG-13 movie, but I would have had more fun if this was rated R. It's a slasher movie, so typically when you go to slasher movies, they're always rated R. A slasher movie should be R, in my opinion. Tree dies like 11 times in this movie. I counted. Okay, I want to point something else out, all right? I'm misspeaking a lot, whatever. She says she died 17 times. Bullshit. Unless they edited out like 6 kills that we didn't get to see, but why would they do that? That just makes no sense. So therefore, there's a writing issue right there. She did not die 17 times. But yeah, like this movie, the PG-13 aspect of it, I think there's like, what, one fuck in it, and it's like cut off mid-sent. Like, she's about to get blown up by she's about to get blown up in the car, and she goes, oh, fuck, and then dies. PG-13 rating, I think, allows you to say fuck once in the movie. And they were about to use it, but then they didn't. But that's really not what I care about. I care about the gore. I care about the blood. There's, like, hardly any blood in this movie, except for that CGI blood that kind of, like, flies up when the killer gets kicked out the window. There are going to be spoilers in this review. Just going to tell you that right now, all right? But if you've heard about the sequel by now and you've seen the trailer, I don't need to spoil it for you because it's already been spoiled. But yeah, like, when she gets stabbed in the gut, she gets stabbed in the throat, she gets hung. We don't see anything, and that's just my main negative. Like, the movie's fun, it's entertaining as hell, it's a great date night movie, but there'd be so much more fun to be had if it was just rated R, like as a slasher fan. I would also like to point out the fact that she did not try to like get the fuck out of the city quick enough. Like, she doesn't like attempt to leave town until she finds out who the killer is the last day when she survives. And that just blew my mind. I'm like, when I was watching this movie at theaters when this came out, I was like, dude, on day 2, I'd go buy a gun. I'd go buy something. But every day, she just stays in the same college campus, same sorority house, same vicinity, just getting killed over and over and over again. It's like, buy a gun, buy a plane ticket, go somewhere. In this movie, just like in Groundhog's Day, we don't get an explanation about why it's happening. And, you know, it's just like, it's just God teaching her a lesson that she just has to become a better person, like Bill Murray did. You know, it's just one of those things you kind of just had to accept going in. You're just like, all right, I accept that this is happening, but everything else try to be realistic. All right, this is already unrealistic, the story, but everything else be realistic. So I'm okay with the whole like day starting over thing, but I would also kind of like some explanation, but I guess it would be kind of hard to come up with one. So I guess it's kind of like just a writing thing. They're like, oh, why explain it? Who cares? Just I don't want to come up with something. Man, I hate girls who say bye like they do in this movie. They go, bye. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it. What started that? This movie, just like Final Destination, kind of has a hard time keeping things lining up, alright? In movies like this especially, they just don't have the events lined up. There's a couple of times where even the Asian dude, he doesn't pop up when he should, like he's there. Like the first morning she wakes up after being killed, or the first morning actually, before being killed, she's in that room for a good 2 minutes. And then as soon as she gets to that door, there's the Asian guy. He's coming in like, oh, did you hit that fine vagina? And then the next morning, or like the third morning, she goes storming out the door, and he's right there at the door, like about to go in. It's like, dude, you were in that room for 2 whole fucking minutes the previous night, and he's already there. Was he waiting? And then when she leaves the campus, you know, you got the global warming chick, like, you want to stop global warming with this piece of paper, as if that's possible. And then you got the guy who's like mentally undressing her, like she doesn't see him mentally undressing her. I guess he's just a fucking creep who just wants everyone to know. Just kind of like staring her down, like, damn, Tree. Which she is beautiful, but the sprinkler system, the car alarm, they all go on at the same time every day for her, even though she's leaving at different times. And I already said before, the babyface thing is ridiculous. The mascot, who has the babyface as the mascot? Was everything else too offensive for this PC college that they're like, fuck it, babies. We're all a bunch of fucking babies anyways. Babies, snowflakes. I mean, I guess snowflakes was taken, so they took baby, right? But I must say, it's kind of grown on me. I mean, it's kind of creepy after a while. If you just see someone wearing that mask and they're just staring at you and not saying anything, it can be creepy, but it's just ridiculous at first. You have to, like, let it grow on you. But at first, it's just stupid. There is one line of dialogue that's supposed to be funny, but I just found it ridiculous. I just want to talk about it. It's not worth mentioning, but I'm going to do it anyways, because that's what I do. Danielle, she's a bitch. She's that obligatory bitch. In every movie, you gotta have that one character who just has to be that person. Danielle is that person. She's that type of girl who talks with her head, you know, she kind of just like moves it around. That's her. I fucking hate that character. But she says something that makes no sense at all. She says, you know, oh, deja vu, you're having deja vu. I get that too when guys jack off about me and when they come, I just feel it. I don't know what she was trying to say. Apparently, if you jack off to women, women know that when it's happening. You're like, oh my gosh, my jack off senses are tingling. Somebody's jacking off about me right now. I don't know what Danielle was saying in that moment, but that's what I got from it. It made no sense. You're telling me Tree actually liked that Pleasure Dome guy? You know, welcome to the Pleasure Dome when the disco ball comes in. Ridiculous scene. Just trying to be funny. But she likes that guy. Dude, this actress is smoking hot, and she's going for that guy who kind of reminded me of the asshole, the teenage guy, whatever the fuck his name is, in Halloween 2018, the one that didn't die. That's who he looked like to me. And I like that guy, and I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy because I'm kind of jealous. This chick likes him? Bullshit. There's a montage scene in this movie where she's checking off this list of like suspects of people who could be trying to kill her, and it's like 30 minutes into the movie. It's like very quick, you know, it's not like towards the end. I feel like they should have pushed that off or something. I don't know how they would have did it, but I'm just saying I wish it wouldn't have checked off so many names, because it gets rid of all the main people you could have been guessing were the killer, and it's just like check. I was like, damn, there goes all my suspects. I just feel like they checked too much too quick. And I would like to point out that checking off Danielle, the bitch's name, just because you both got hit by a bus, how does that make her not a suspect no more? She suspects Daniel one night, and then Danielle, not Daniel, and she gets in a fight with her, and they end up in the street, and they both get hit by a bus. And there's no confirmation that she's actually the killer, just like some little birthday card that she was going to deliver to the dorm. But why did Tree check her name off? That makes no sense. Like, you have another opportunity. Go confront her again and try to find out. This is one of the things that are in lots of movies, and I have to point out here. There's always a big public place that looks full. Like on the outside, this hospital has a full garage, lots of cars, not just rentals, there's just lots of them. But the hospital is fucking empty, like Halloween 2 empty. Just one person working there, one doctor, one receptionist, and one security guard who's supposed to be guarding this guy who just murdered like half a dozen women. You got one guard being the sleepy guy up front, sleeping. Typical cliche security guard, just like in Jigsaw. We got that one in this movie too. But I'm just saying, like, this hospital is pretty empty. Convenient for the killer. This movie tries to make you think there's like this bad guy named Tomb or something, some serial killer that was in the vicinity, and he's in the hospital now for killing 6 women, and they frame him. You know, the main killer frames this guy, who is a killer, but he's not the one who's been killing Tree. And her name's Tree. What a hippie name. But they frame him towards in the third act, and you're like, oh, it's been him? Well, that makes no fucking sense. A lot of people fell for it, but I immediately was like, that makes no sense. This guy does not know her. Why would he be stalking her, chasing her specifically every single night? He wouldn't know it's her birthday. He's just a random dude. Why would he chase her to this mansion, this place? It made no sense. So I'm wondering if there's anybody out there who, when they saw this movie, they just automatically fell for it. Like, oh, they told me it was this guy, so I believe it. Was there anyone who actually believed that it was Tomb and not the actual killer? You know, Tree. I mean, not Tree. I forget her name. Lori? It just didn't seem right. So I automatically wrote it off like, no, somebody's framing this guy. This doesn't seem right. Oh my gosh, okay. Tree, the night she kills like the framed killer, Tomb, at the hospital, she shoots him. But before she does all that shit, she pulls a knife on that sleepy security guard, like threatens him, like, give me your gun, and then tells him to leave and go get help. And then she kills the bad guy, the serial killer. After all that's said and done, she's not arrested. Really? She's just at the diner with, what's his name? Fuck, I'm forgetting. Damn it! Carter! she's eating with Carter in the next. It's like a hard cut. Like, all right, she killed him, and now, boom, they're eating shakes and stuff. Really? No, she'd be arrested. She'd be in the station for questioning. You know, like, why did you pull a knife on me? How did you know he was gonna escape? None of that shit. Even at the end of the movie, when she kicks her roommate out the window, it just hard cuts to her eating again at a diner with Carter. It's like, no, you would be at the station answering questions like, why did you kick her out? What was happening? Oh, the cupcake was poisoned. Well, let's take this down to forensics and see if it is poison. Let's see if your story's true, ma'am. I mean, we're not just gonna let you roam around. But that's what they do in this movie, because I guess lazy writing. Once you find out that the killer is this tall roommate, Lori, you know, when you first see her, you know that she's very fucking tall. She was one of my top 3 suspects when I saw this movie. I was like, okay, it's her roommate Lori, or it's her dad, maybe. Until I saw that scene with the dad, I was like, maybe it's her dad, you know, or maybe the dad's calling her to warn her about the killer, but she's never answering the damn phone. So I was kind of right. I'm very good at whodunits. When I watch a whodunit, I'm usually right. I think I was right with this one. I can't remember. So then when you find out it's Lori, you look back and you're like, holy shit, she took some hard hits. Lori got hit in the face with a fucking hammer, and then she just immediately gets back up. So apparently when she puts on the mask, she's very strong. And her reason, it's pointed out in the movie, I like that they did that. Her reason is stupid. Her reason for killing Tree is because of jealousy over a guy. It's just a stupid reason, really. Just like, oh. And then she adds a reason at the last second because, you know, she's like, really, you're killing me because of that? She's like, no, you're a bitch too. It's like, you could have wrote a better reason. That's just very lame, but they did it for comedic purposes, I guess. Alright, this movie. What do I like about it? Well, right when this movie starts, it automatically lets you know what it's going to be about. In case you didn't know walking into it, it's going to be about the day starting over. You got the Universal logo. It just keeps going in and out. You know, and just rewinds and starts back over again like 3 times. I really like the supporting cast Carter, and I really like the main actress, Tree, played by who knows, I don't know names, and I didn't look this woman's name up. Sorry. But she's very sexy in this movie. I'm glad. I like the way she portrays Tree and all the facial expressions she does. She makes a lot of weird faces in this movie. She's very good at being this comedic bitch. And I like that this main girl, she's actually a bitch. You know, she has an arc, you know, towards the end she starts to learn to be a better person. Kind of like Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day. There's some good humor in here, you know, some witty repartee between her and her friends and everyone she encounters. She just says, you know, witty lines. She's talking to this gay guy who you find out was gay later, and she says, you know, you don't take your date to Subway, it's not like you have a foot long. There are some good jokes in this movie, so yeah, I mean, there are some bad ones. I don't know what that deja vu masturbation thing was, but there are some good jokes in this movie. I like that we find out why she ignores her dad and why the birthday's so special to her. We find out her mom died on her birthday, and her mom had the same birthday, and that's why she's been ignoring her dad's calls. You know, she just thinks about her mom every time she sees dad. She wants to put that life away. There's some genuinely dramatic, touching moments in this movie that actually tug at your heart. I like that each kill, even though you don't see it, they're actually unique. You know, it's not always getting stabbed in the stomach or face. She gets stabbed in the face with you know, a knife, and then she gets stabbed in the throat with a bong. Then she gets stabbed in the stomach, she gets drowned, she hangs herself, all kinds of stuff. I really like that there was actually a twist. You know, it's not just a whodunit, and then, you know, that's a twist in itself, finding out who it was. Oh, it's that person. That's just a revelation. It's not really a twist. But there's actually a cupcake twist in this movie, and I really like that. It just added a little bit more shock to the ending of, you know, finding out who it was, but also finding out that there was also this poison cupcake the whole time. I don't know why she was threatening Lori, the killer, about the cupcake. Oh, I guess I'll go take it to the police station. You don't threaten somebody who you know is a killer and then turn your back on them like she did. That was stupid. And this movie also adds something that Groundhog Day never did, or any other movie like this ever did, and that is that all these deaths are actually weakening her. They don't really, they mention it, but they don't really touch base on it later. There's one death where she wakes up and she's so exhausted and hurt from all the deaths that she's been experiencing that she passes out. But I like that they added that to this movie. They kind of like I said, they mention it, but they don't bring it up again later, because then she dies a few more times in the movie and they don't weaken her anymore. She doesn't wake up even more nausea, exhausted and falling to the ground again every single day. It was just that one day, so I thought that was kind of off. They didn't continue that. There's no continuity with that. It was just the one day where she falls over and passes out. But yeah, I just thought that whole thing that was inserted into this movie was different from other movies like this. I'm not sure if they're going to continue that in Happy Death Day to You. Is she going to get killed a lot more and still get weaker and weaker, or are they just going to scrap that? I also want to mention one cool shot. My favorite shot in this movie is when she gets hit with a baseball bat in the head. and she like falls over into the next scene, and like the background like transitions as she falls over, and it just stays with her. That's a very cool shot. I don't know how they did it, but that was pretty cool. And I like that they have a Groundhog Day reference at the end, so it's like they're giving credit and homage to the people that they're basically ripping off. They're like, hey, have you seen Groundhog's Day? Carter's asking Tree at the end of this movie if she's seen Groundhog's Day. I thought that was a nice little touch. So yeah, other than the PG-13 rating and the lack of blood for a slasher film, this movie is very fun. It's a very great date night movie. That's what it says in the back of the cover. Great date night movie. And I agree. So therefore, when it comes to Happy Death Day, I say that you go out and buy it. Are you excited for Happy Death Day to you? That's coming out tomorrow. I'm going to be seeing it, so look out for that review tomorrow. And be looking out for other reviews like Alita Battle Angel and all kinds of stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are on this movie in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for joining tonight. You can hit this like button over here to support this video, and you can support my channel and become a subscriber if you haven't subscribed already by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, I'll repeat this thing.